Hello, my name is Michael Nikula, and I am the founder of the Online Party of Canada. It's a registered federal political party. Currently, I am representing this party in the by-elections, Toronto Centre riding. I'm also the person who founded the Action for Proportional Representation, which is something that 90% of Canadians support. However, it's still not in place. Canadian electoral system is based on a system called first-past-the-post, which is not the best system available, but it's something that doesn't seem to be changed, no matter who's in power. What exactly is proportional representation? Proportional representation is a system where the elected officials, the 300 plus MPs in the Parliament, in the House of Commons obviously, would be representing in proportion to whatever the outcome of the popular vote was in the election. For example, the Conservative Party should have right now 38% of the seats, which is 122. Instead, they have 166 seats. And the question is that fair? Is this reasonable? And why is that? The actual number of votes that the Conservative Party got in the last elections, 2011, it's less than 25% of the eligible voters vote. And yet we have a majority Conservative government in a country that is mainly center-left. So this goes to show you how unfair the system that we have right now is giving us the results. Why do we still have a first-past-the-post system? Well, the answer is it's actually pure math. The reason why we have this system is that it favors the party in power. So whoever has a majority or wins the most seats actually benefits from the system because the system gives them more seats, so more power than the popular vote would. Also, this is true for the first opposition party, which currently is NDP. It also gives them more seats than a proportional representation system would give them. So therefore, your main party and your main opposition party would stand to lose if proportional representation would be enacted. Therefore, they're never going to do it because who in the right state of mind, a party leader, would give up a majority in the parliament where their position is the first opposition party if they had a choice. So that's why, based on pure math, this is never going to happen. However, the opposition talks about the proportional representation a lot because it sounds good. As I said, 90% of Canadians actually like the idea of proportional representation, support it, so it's fashionable for the parties in the opposition, starting with the Green Party, Parti Québécois, currently Liberal Party. They would all stand to win if they had a proportional representation because that would give them more seats in the parliament. However, the NDP and the Conservative Party, they don't like it because it will take away seats from them. So while the opposition talks about it, the party in power would never do it because it really doesn't serve them any purpose. And because of that, not only the party in power, but the party who has a shot to become majority, for example, the Liberal Party, of course, they don't want to diminish their chance to have a majority government. Therefore, they don't actually support proportional representation. However, they talk about it. So Stephen Harper, when he was in the opposition about 10 years ago, he was talking in favor of proportional representation, saying that it's more fair and is more democratic. However, you won't hear him talking about it anymore because he's not crazy. He's not going to give up 44 of his party seats plus the majority just for the sake of being fair and democratic. The Liberal Party was in power for 13 years prior to the Conservatives. They knew about proportional representation, and obviously they didn't enact it because, again, it didn't serve their purpose. The NDP, the current leadership of the NDP party, they recently spoke in favor of proportional representation at an event in Ottawa held by fairvote.ca. But the question is, if NDP supports it and Liberals Party supports it, where's the legislation? Show me the papers. Show me the actual legislation tabled in the House of Commons to enact proportional representation. They just talk about it, but there's actually no action. As I said, it's fashionable to talk about proportional representation because voters like that, and of course it serves the purpose, the immediate purpose of getting more votes. The approaches that have been made so far were to basically ask kindly the powers to be nice and enact proportional representation. Fairvote.ca, it's a non-for-profit organization who supports proportional representation, and their strategy is to go after politicians and have them say on record that they support it. However, there's no way to actually force them to do it once they get into a position of power. The smaller parties, of course, they support proportional representation, independent candidates as well, because, of course, it would favor them. Online Party of Canada, my party, would benefit from it, of course, but that's not why we do it. We actually want to do it for the good reasons, which is a fairer political system. The Action for Proportional Representation, which I founded, has a different approach. Instead of asking you, voters, to rely on me or us or whoever is part of this initiative, we put it in writing. So everybody who wants to be part of this initiative has to actually sign a sworn declaration in front of a lawyer that they actually are going to do it. Not only talk about it, but actually do it. Action for Proportional Representation is an initiative, it's a non-partisan, anybody can sign up for it, even NDP, Liberal and the Conservative candidates, also candidates from the smaller parties, and they pledge that if they get elected in 2015, the first and only thing they would do would be to enact proportional representation and then quit and call for new elections. So we would have, within a week or two or a month, we would have a brand new parliament that would be actually elected based on proportional representation. It is a very simple idea, and all it takes, it's actually 338 people who would sign a sworn declaration committing to actually do this without delay and without any gimmicks or shenanigans. This initiative actually doesn't rely on politicians because we've heard them promising things and not following through. This is something that just the voters can do without any support for politicians. So we don't have to beg them, we don't have to ask them to do it. It's actually it's a citizens' action that has 100% guaranteed to succeed. Please vote for, please go on the website. It's www.simplychange.ca, and please vote in 2015 for your local candidate that has the logo of the Action for Proportional Representation. And let's make this happen, but without asking for help from politicians. Let's just do it. My name again, Michael Mikula. I represent the Action for Proportional Representation, and I'm also the founder of the Online Party of Canada.